Welcome to the Roadmap to Secure Love. In today's episode, Kim and Kyle discuss how to talk about boring sex in a way that invites exploration instead of shame and withdrawal. Let's dive in.
Oh, Kyle, what do we do when sex becomes boring? How many times have we had clients come into our office and they're like, we just do the same old things and it's boring and it's transactional. I get them off, they get me off, and then we roll over and sleep and we're done. And it's like, how do we have that conversation where we don't create a rupture where people feel insecure of how they showing up in the bedroom? What do we
Well, the
do?
first thing we don't want to do is we don't want to start going to our partner and doing the positive, I'm going to tell you everything that's great and then give you the but and what needs to change, right?
You mean
Not
the
sandwich it,
sandwich?
the sandwich, right? Not going, oh, I love you, our sex is good, this is what I love about our sex, but it's boring, right? Or but we're not having enough fun, right? Because then your partner is, and this is something you do even outside the bedroom, your partner's not actually going to focus on any of the positive stuff because they're waiting for the negative part that you're going to bring them. And because you prime them for that. And this is something around sex. We try to do that because we're trying to get our partner to see the positive and set them up to feel open to the negative thing. But it actually really makes it harder for them to hear the negative and hear something that's really important that Kim and I really help our clients get to, which is really starting to see the attachment longing on why we want to have more playfulness and exploration in the bedroom.
Yeah, so we don't do what most people say the positive and then say the negative and then say the positive again
Mhm.
because it does not work when we're talking about changing our sex script.
Right.
Say no to the positive, negative, positive sandwich. No.
Hmm.
Okay. But what we have to do is we have to get really deep and thought about our attachment longings.
Right.
What
And the
does that
reason,
even mean?
well, I think even before we get there, the reason we want you to be able to talk in this way is this is one of the ways, right? If you go to your partner and say, okay, don't do the positive, negative, positive sandwich, just go to my partner and say, sex is boring, right? That's going to probably create a rupture too, right? So we understand that this is a tricky place.
Very tricky.
And so, yeah, right, you're trying to have a conversation to change the relationship in a positive way, but you don't want to hurt your partner. You don't want to create a rupture in the connection. And so it feels really, really tricky on how to navigate that. And so this is what this whole episode is about, is how do we have that conversation where both partners can at least talk about it and feel emotionally engaged in exploring their intimacy and their sex life together.
Yeah, and why it's so tricky is even if you're sex positive,
Hmm.
sex is very vulnerable.
So vulnerable.
Am I good? Am I not good? Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? It's never like the movies, ever,
No.
right? And it's just vulnerable. Even if we're very, very sex positive, it's a vulnerable thing for us to do.
Right.
That's why it's tricky.
It is because we're not only getting physically naked, we're getting emotionally naked too. And that's kind of what we're inviting you into is how can we get emotionally naked with our partner where they can really see the vulnerable parts of us in a way that invites them to explore and connect with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We give an example of a sandwich though. It would be something like, so this is what we don't want to do. Um, I really love how wonderful you are and how when I ask for sex, you always say yes, but you never go down on me. And I've asked you several times to go down on me and we never do, but I really do appreciate our time together.
right, your
Didn't
partner's
just feel
just
like
gonna focus.
shit.
Right. Your partner is just going to focus on the part where they never go down on you. And that's not going to inspire them to want to do any of that action or the behavior. Right.
So how can we say that differently, Kyle? Not sandwich, but vulnerability.
I think the part is we first focus less on the action or the behavior and actually focus on what it means for us. What
Mhm.
does it mean for me if I get to connect with my partner in that way? What does it mean for me if I get to explore this new way of being erotically connected with my partner? Right. Well, for me, it means like we have a really strong connection. It's I want this person who is my life partner or my significant other to go on this kind of exploration with me. I want to feel them in that adventure with me. Right. And so that's what this is about, is to explore new sensations, explore other ways of connecting. That is why you're wanting to even have this conversation in the first place. It's
Yeah.
like trying to go on a new part on the playground. We talked about this before in previous episodes of, hey, I want to go on the slide with you, right? We haven't been on a slide. So let's go down this new toy in a way together
Yeah.
and explore how it feels and what it's like, how connected we are. That's really why we want to get out of the routine transactional sexual dynamic.
Yeah. So it's like, I love having sex with you. I love being close to you. And I want us to try new things because the thought of exploring with you really is exciting to me. I want to be so close to you in every aspect, especially, even in the bedroom. I want us to be this close. That lands differently. And I can hear our clients, Kyle, the listener go, because not everybody, they still hear, and I think that's society, that's family of origin, that's trauma, that's how we learned about sex. We still hear this thing like, oh God, I'm not good enough.
Mhm.
Right. So that comes up and it's going to come up.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with that when our partner's like, what do you mean? I was happy with what we were doing. What do you mean you want to be closer to me? I thought we were close enough. And what do we do with that?
Well, I think we really need to stay with the part of what it means to us and reassure them, and hopefully that they can take in of just like, yeah, it is good. And again, this is what I'm wanting more of. Being able to explore new parts of eroticism creates this feeling of we're exploring together. It creates this sense that we're going on a new adventure together. And like, that's what's fun for me is yes, this is good. Now, don't get me wrong. This is good. This is not a but. This is an and. Like, and I want to keep creating that and go on. It's just like traveling the world. I want to travel to a new place with you. I want to explore with you. And that's what's so exciting about this with me. It's not another person in the world I want to do this with. It's with you.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, there's actually a job for both parties.
Yeah.
So the one who wants more or wants to try new things and to get closer sexually has to really get in touch with that emotional longing and be able to articulate it. The listener has to fight against possibly voices that say they're not good enough, all of these things, and begin to say, I want that too. I don't know what that looks like.
Right.
I want that too. I'm a little scared. I want that too. I'm not sure what this means.
Mhm.
But listen for the heart of their partner instead of hearing, this sucks.
Which is hard, right? Because I think you said
So
this so
hard.
well, is the culture is like, oh, if your partner wants to improve it, clearly you're not doing a good job. But that's where we get caught up. And if we start focusing on that message, even if our partner's saying how they want this adventure, how they want to explore with us, we're gonna shut down because we're gonna feel that inadequacy and our partner's gonna lose that connection. And then they're gonna go to that place of, well, there's not really a benefit of us talking about this because if anytime I bring it up, I lose out on that connection. My partner ends up feeling hurt. I tried it, what Kim and Kyle said to do, and it didn't work, right? And this
Right.
is what's so challenging is it's such a tricky place because there's so many layers. This isn't just like, oh, it's between us. There's all of our life experiences. There's these cultural dynamics. There's these messages on how to and how to give your partner the best blowjob or how to give your partner an orgasm. And a lot of us has so much pressure around intimacy and shame that we can very quickly dive into that and miss out on the core part, which is that our partner wants to play and explore with us.
Yes.
And that when we know erotically, when we're working with clients with someone who's dealing with shame or shutdown, their body's not open to exploring. They're too
Correct.
busy fighting that shame, right? And so this is the part, if your partner is bringing this to you, can you really make space for their heart and that they want to explore and have fun with you?
Yeah.
And that this is their invitation to get closer and experience new ways of being with you.
Yeah. And can we normalize something for a minute when you were talking about like all the books about how to do this and all the how-tos and all of the and all the movies and all the things. Sometimes sex is just mundane.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's Wednesday, you have your socks on, the kids are just been put down, and it's just what it is,
Mhm.
right? But when it's like that year after year, day after day, day after day, then
Mhm.
that's when it's like, okay, I want to try something new. I want to get out of the rut.
Right.
I don't want our kids to dictate all the time, how exhausted we are when we're connecting.
Mhm.
Or I want to try something new to feel alive in myself and with us. But I do want to normalize not every time you're going to have sex should be off the charts.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
And I think that's important for those of us who maybe feel that pressure of, oh, if we're not having the best sex all the time, that means something's wrong with our relationship. The reality is you're going to have mundane, sometimes not super exciting sex all the time because that's just what's going to happen with life. And if that can be okay, if that can be safe for your body and your partner's body, then it's going to make it a lot easier for us to be able to kind of go, yeah, that was nice,
Yeah.
and that be okay, so that then at these other times there isn't this pressure or the shame for it to be great sex. Because part of what we know, right, some research that's been done on extraordinary sex by Peggy Kleinplatz, I can't
Mhm.
remember,
Yep.
right? And so they interviewed a ton of couples and romantic partners on what makes great sex, and the biggest thing was being emotionally present, right?
Yeah.
Partners were super present. And so if we can feel safe in these mundane moments, then it makes us more emotionally available and present to have an experience where both partners are in the moment together and exploring and connecting. And that's what makes it so deeply meaningful.
Yes. Yes. What makes great sex is security.
Mhm. It's a foundation.
It's the foundation. And what makes great sex is that I can tell you that I want to be closer to you sexually. And you are secure enough to hear, the partner's secure enough to hear it not as a critique. And if they do, to ask, is this a critique or are we okay?
Right.
And then to trust that. Secure sex is great sex.
It is. And I think Emily Nagoski, right, her new book that just came out on Come Together says that great sex is low stakes, right? Bad sex is high stakes. Bad sex is I'm going to lose the relationship, right? If I got to do this because if I don't do this, I'm going to lose the relationship or my partner's going to be upset. That's not a place of exploration. That's not a place of curiosity. That's not a place of being in our bodies connected with each other.
Yeah.
And so this is, again, the reason we want you to talk about your partner about boring sex is, and the reason we're asking you to talk about what it means for you
Yeah.
and why it's important to explore with them is so that your partner gets the sense that this is something you want with them.
Yeah.
That is the foundation of the security of the relationship. So then when they get that secure message and they can make space to take that in, now they're like, yeah, let's play. Let's figure out what we can do together.
Yeah.
And that's that foundation. When we feel like we're in it together and we can explore, we got the whole world as kind of an exploration of what do we want to try? What do we want to look up? What do we want to play with? And now we can have a way of connecting and exploring and trying things and things that go awfully, right? Or like, not
Mhm.
doing that again. Or things like, that was actually really good. I'd like
Mhm.
to do more of that in the future.
Yeah.
Right. And that allows us to really explore and connect, which is ultimately what we're looking for in these erotic experiences.
So if you find yourself trapped in boring sex, transactional sex, you get them up, they get you off, la, 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 la. Okay. No sandwich talk
No.
where it's the positive about sex, then it's like the growing edge, and then, but I really love you. So no sandwich. The speaker has to get vulnerable and talk about connection and why that's important. And the listener has to be open to the partner's heart and fight against the parts of them that feel insecure or feel like they're not good enough and talk to their partner about that so that they can connect.
That's perfect.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. What we'll talk about, we'll wrap up this episode, but next episode, we're going to talk about what happens if your partner, something gets in the way of them being open to that exploration. What happens if they're not open to that? And so next episode, we're really going to go into that. But for this episode, we want you to focus on getting really to the deeper attachment meaning on why you want to have different sex.
Yeah. And I can guarantee you, as soon as you listen to this one and you get into all of the primary emotions and you try to share that, some of you, a lot of you will hear pushback.
Yep.
So we're going to teach you what to do with it next time.
Thanks for joining us today. Here are the key takeaways from this episode. 1. Avoid the compliment sandwich. 2. Speak from emotional longing. 3. Normalize mundane sex. 4. Prioritize emotional safety. 5. Explore erotically together. Follow Kyle and Kim on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to sign up for the Secure Attachment Path course to explore your attachment style, uncover relationship patterns, and learn practical tools for building secure connections. Link to the course can be found in the show notes and on our website. Until next time, stay connected and love fully.